The internet wasn't ready for this one. It started as a simple Halloween post, a cute little moment people expected to scroll past and forget. But the second Kayla Nicole walked into frame wearing that iconic Toni Braxton dress, moving with that same sharp attitude, that same unbothered elegance, that same I know my worth energy, everything shifted. Suddenly, timelines erupted, TikTok transformed, and everyone from the Braxton fanbase to the Swifties to the NFL crowd found themselves in the middle of a storm that nobody saw coming. Kayla Nicole didn't just remake a music video. Kayla Nicole resurrected an entire era. She stepped into that brown leather dress, hit those precise steps from "He wasn't man enough for me," and gave a performance so accurate, people had to place the clips side by side to believe their eyes. And the moment she did it, the internet asked one question: why this song? Why now? Why this level of precision? Because fans believe this wasn't just a tribute. This was a message for months. Swifties whispered that certain lines on Taylor Swift's newest album were aimed directly at Kayla Nicole cryptic lyrics. Cell-wide metaphors, references to history, heartbreak, and a woman from before. Kayla never confirmed it, but she never denied it either. And denial is currency in celebrity culture. Silence becomes fuel. So when Kayla posted her Toni Braxton remake, fans connected the dots instantly. He wasn't man enough for me wasn't just a song title anymore. It was Kayla Nicole's clapback anthem. TikTok didn't take hours to react. It took minutes. Edits went viral. People recreated the dance. Fans added captions like Kayla responding to Taylor, Kayla reclaiming her story, Kayla telling her side without saying a word. And before long, the hashtag #He wasn't man enough was back on the charts for the first time in decades. The Braxton fanbase woke up confused. How did a 2000s R&B classic become the soundtrack to a 2025 fan war? Meanwhile, Toni Braxton had no clue what was happening. When Kevin Frazier brought it up to her, she blinked in confusion like somebody had pulled her into a storyline she wasn't prepared for. Travis Kelce? Taylor Swift's fiance? Kayla Nicole? TikTok? Shade? She had missed the whole plot. Kevin had to break it down piece by piece. Travis dated Kayla first, then moved on to Taylor. Rumors started circulating. Lyrics got dissected. And suddenly Kayla showed up on Halloween channeling Toni Braxton like she was born for the role. Toni listened politely, eyebrows raised just slightly, then smiled that quiet, grown woman smile that only Toni Braxton can pull off. She didn't feed the rumor. She didn't amplify the drama. She simply said she thought Kayla was paying homage. She said Kayla looked beautiful. She said Kayla got the choreography perfect. She said she loved it. But the internet didn't care about calm interpretations. They cared about the smoke they saw in the air. They cared about Kayla Nicole dancing to lyrics like, "He wasn't man enough for me," right in the middle of wedding bells ringing for Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. They cared about a woman, reclaiming her narrative after years under the spotlight. They cared about that subtle wink, that subtle chin tilt, that subtle, "I'm good, thanks for asking" energy. They cared about everything Kayla wasn't saying, because silence speaks louder when everyone is listening. Suddenly, the conversation shifted again. People weren't just talking about Kayla and Taylor, they were talking about Toni Braxton. A whole new generation discovered her music. Young fans who weren't even born when the song came out were performing the choreography. People dug up old award show clips, concert videos, behind-the-scenes footage. Toni didn't plan any of this, but momentum found her anyway. Her name was trending again. Streams skyrocketed. Edits spread. And then Toni announced her Lifetime movie with the same title, Man Enough. Destiny Loves Timing. As Kayla's version continued circulating online, fans began watching her body language more closely. They analyzed her smile, her expressions, her intentional movement. Was this just a costume? Or was this a message? Was this lighthearted fun? Or was this Kayla saying the one thing she never said publicly? I moved on. I'm good. I'm still that girl. But what made the moment even more dramatic was Toni Braxton's unexpected role. She didn't pick sides. She didn't shade anyone. She didn't stir the pot. Toni just appreciated the love, and somehow that made everything even louder. Because when the queen is unbothered, fans handle the drama for her, and so this triangle that didn't even involve her Taylor Swift's rumored shots, Kayla Nicole's viral clapback, Travis Kelce's silence, ended up pushing Toni Braxton back into the music conversation like she never left. Suddenly people were arguing about who wore the dress better, who hit the choreography better, who carried the swagger better. Suddenly, every clip of Toni from the late 90s and early 2000s was resurfacing. Suddenly, fans were comparing Kayla's remake to Beyoncé's iconic tributes from her early MTV days. And suddenly, Toni Braxton, quiet, elegant, minding her own business, Toni was in the middle of a cultural moment she didn't even know existed. The internet loves chaos. The internet loves shade. The internet loves to pick sides. And the internet loves when a woman chooses herself instead of choosing explanation. Kayla didn't say one word about Taylor. She didn't address Travis. She didn't clap back in an interview. She didn't subtweet. She didn't comment. She didn't cry. She didn't plead. She just danced. And that dance was louder than any statement she could have written. And that's exactly why the internet exploded. When Toni Braxton finally watched the remake, her reaction surprised everyone. While fans expected her to jump into the drama, Toni took the opposite approach. Warm, calm, amused. She praised Kayla Nicole's confidence. She praised her accuracy. She praised her beauty. And then she said the one line that instantly became a meme. It's good to be remembered. With that, Toni Braxton unintentionally added fuel to a fire she had never intended to spark. Because if Kayla Nicole's video was a silent message, Toni's reaction became an indirect endorsement, at least in the eyes of the internet. People began stitching Toni's comments over Kayla's video. They added captions like, "The Queen has spoken. Toni approves. This just got real." And once again, the story evolved. Taylor Swift fans started debating whether Kayla's video was harmless fun or strategic shade. Kayla supporters argued she had the right to clap back after years of being compared, criticized, or overshadowed. NFL fans dragged Travis Kelce's name back into the conversation. Music fans argued who handled the situation with more grace. And through it all, Toni Braxton simply smiled and moved on with her day, but the internet wouldn't let the moment die. People went deeper, dissecting why "He Wasn't Man Enough for Me" was the perfect song choice. The track itself was about a woman confidently telling another woman, "Your man wasn't enough for me." That alone was enough fuel. Add to that the Taylor-Kayla-Travis triangle. Add to that Toni's calm but undeniable delight that her song had gone viral again. Add to that a new generation discovering a classic. The layers were too rich, too symbolic, too juicy for fans to ignore. And this wasn't even the only revelation. Toni Braxton, in the same interview, talked about her own love life, shutting down rumors about Birdman writing her massive checks, debunking fake breakup stories, and explaining how love and friendship blended into her current relationship. That part of the interview was supposed to be the headline, but Kayla Nicole stole the entire show without saying a single word. Then came the TikTok storm. More influencers attempted the challenge. Surgeons, doctors, dancers, celebrities, even random users recreated the choreography. Girls in their kitchens, boys in their dorms, couples in their living rooms. The sound climbed a chart again. Toni's original video analytics spiked. Radio stations began playing the song like it was 2000 all over again. Amazon, Spotify, Apple Music all saw a lift. A whole new viral wave hit when fans began comparing Kayla Nicole's performance with the original shot by shot. Her hair flips, her gestures, her transitions, everything matched. People weren't just laughing at the idea of shade, they were admiring the artistry. Meanwhile, Toni Braxton, in the most Toni Braxton way possible, took the moment and turned it into a win. She plugged her Lifetime movie. She discussed her upcoming tour. She shined light on her new creative projects. And in doing so, she proved why she's lasted in the industry for decades. Toni doesn't chase the moment comes to her. But the internet wasn't done. People resurfaced older clips of Kayla Nicole discussing confidence, heartbreak, resilience, and the difficulty of dating under fame. Those clips got stitched with Toni's lyrics. "He wasn't man enough for me" became a soundtrack to every breakup edit, every glow-up reel, every "I found myself again" montage. Suddenly, Kayla wasn't just shading. She was inspiring the whole movement. And here's where things got even wilder. Some fans started arguing that Taylor Swift actually boosted Toni Braxton's legacy unintentionally. If Taylor hadn't dropped those rumored lines about Kayla wouldn't have felt compelled to respond. If Kayla hadn't responded, Toni wouldn't have gone viral again. If Toni hadn't gone viral, her movie wouldn't have gotten a wave of new eyes. It was a cultural domino effect, and the internet loves a full circle moment. And yet, with all the noise, the memes, the edits, the think pieces, the breakdowns, the debates, only one woman stayed completely unproblematic through the entire fiasco. Toni Braxton. She didn't shade Taylor. She didn't defend Kayla. She didn't accuse Travis. She didn't even pick a side. Instead, she elevated the moment, not the drama. And that's what made her reaction legendary. In the end, this wasn't about Travis Kelce. It wasn't about Taylor Swift. It wasn't even fully about Kayla Nicole. This was a reminder that a powerful song plus a confident woman plus the right moment can shake the internet without a single word spoken. Kayla used Toni's voice, and Toni used the moment with elegance. Meanwhile, Taylor remained silent, which only intensified speculation. The internet loves triangles. The internet loves subtle shade. The internet loves nostalgia. And the internet loves when a woman claps back without saying a single line. That's why this whole situation blew up. And that's why every fan base is still watching to see who says something next.